Hello, hello, beautiful people. Hello. Hope you're having an amazing, amazing day. Welcome to another superstar interview where we get the opportunity to spend some time, invest some time with leaders, game changers, people that are making the world a better place each and every day. So today is a very special day because we have Miss Candace Woods in the house. I am so excited for her to be here with you guys. She is the mindset architect. And I'm so excited for you guys to actually receive the message that she's going to share with you guys, because her passion and her purpose are to help kingdom entrepreneurs and servant leaders design, plan, and develop a compelling vision for their life and business. She is the founder and creator of the Book Inside of You Writers Lab and the Destiny University Coaching Academy. And through her digital courses, coaching programs, and live events, she strives to equip those who she is assigned to serve with tools to get out of their own way and pursue their God-given purpose with passion, y'all. Are you guys ready for this? I mean, Candace, how are you today?
I'm excited, Isabel. I'm excited to be here. I've been anticipating this opportunity, so I'm excited. Thank you for having me.
Yes, and we're so excited to have you on the show, because it's not a lot of people that stay true to their voice. And we were talking about this before we hit record, and you said something
Mhm.
so true. And I actually want to start this conversation a little bit different than I normally do. And I want to dig deeper into that voice that
Mhm.
you were mentioning. How have you stayed so consistent with your voice?
That's a great question because I remember, and I think I shared with you before recording that I remember when I didn't know what it was that I was supposed to be doing or, trying to be, and I didn't really have a voice. And I kind of found myself just kind of lost in this world of entrepreneurship because, you have so many people who say you're supposed to be doing business this particular way. And I remember just coming into this entrepreneurial space and I wasn't really trying to be here, you know,
Yeah.
but it just kind of happened that way. It was like so many other doors were closing. And I had this skill set of coaching and counseling. And so I needed to use it and I needed to make income. And just getting a day job just wasn't working out for me. And
Mm.
so I found myself in this space like, okay, what am I supposed to be doing? And I remember just going back and getting coaching and investing in myself. And that's when I really found my voice. Like I knew that I didn't have to be, the version that everybody else wanted me to be. I didn't have to do business the way that everybody else was doing it. It was okay for me to take my faith and my beliefs and align it with business, and because there were people who had a desire to do the same thing. And so once I found my voice and once I became true and authentic to who I am and myself, I just stayed committed to it. And I was like, I'm not changing for anybody. I'm not going to I'm not going to allow anybody to sway me one way or the other. This feels good to me and this is who I am. And so I'm just gonna be consistent and stick with it. And thankfully it's worked out. 'Cause
Yes, it has,
it's
in a
worked out.
major way. I mean,
Yeah.
just the other day, I saw such a beautiful testimonial about one
Yeah.
of your clients. Like, that's
Hmm.
huge. And before we get into some success stories, because I know there's many,
Hmm.
you said two words that are very, very true to our hearts. And this is something that in the years of business, in the day-to-day grind, hustle, whatever you want to call it, this is tested over and over and over
Hmm.
again, which is faith and belief,
Hmm. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you stay strong? Because you're a strong woman. Every time you
Yeah.
show up on Facebook, every time you show up on Instagram, there is an aura about you that is so calming. So I'm like,
Yeah.
dang, where's that line? Like, because I know you get that like intensity about you, but at the same time, you calm, like super calm, convicted, and confident.
Again, another great question. Um, I entered into the entrepreneurial space through um, by investing in a coach who was also already teaching that it was okay to align your faith in your business. And so I grew up, I'm a church girl, I grew up in the South, and and so that was always just kind of something that was my beliefs and my faith was just taught that this was what you should believe. And over time, just growing up, I did learn that, there wasn't just one way to do that, that there wasn't, everyone isn't the same. And I began to connect with other people who had similar beliefs and may not, have similar religions but just learning how to tap into a sense of authenticity,
Yeah.
purpose, finding your space where you belong, where you fit, and what feels good for you. And so I just kind of gravitated to that belief system, and I held on to it, and then I was able to connect with others who had similar belief systems, who were like-minded. And again, it didn't have anything to do with religion. It's just believing in a higher power, or having a sense of faith and belief in something bigger than you. I just kept adding that to my life and investing time, adding value to myself, figuring out what I really wanted and what I really believe. And I just stayed true to that. And so I've always just been that type of person. Like I kind of have this little stubbornness about me naturally, that people can try to sway me one way or the other, but I'm like, look, this is what I believe, and this is what I stand firm on. And it benefits me
Yeah.
in entrepreneurship and in leadership, in a sense, because that was even something that I had to kind of grab hold, like, oh wow, I'm a leader, like that's a lot of responsibility. But it was still something that, when you become gifted, and you tap into your gifts, and you figure out what it is that you do well, you just stick to it. And so that's where my confidence has really come from. I haven't always been this confident. As a matter of fact, you
Really?
guys helped me out with that a lot. Like, really, you did.
Oh,
Like, just working with you all and the coaching and everything. It really shifted my mindset, and helped me to really say, I really know what I'm doing. I
yes,
need
you.
to, I need to believe in myself more. And so, definitely working with you all have really helped me in boosting my confidence in that area. So, yeah.
Thanks, Candace. I mean, thank you so much for that. I mean, I wanted to celebrate the fact that you do such a great job in allowing others to feel safe
Mm-hmm.
in a world that's like so much is going on, and when people come into your almost like incubator space, you
Mm-hmm.
allow them to step into their purpose with faith and belief. What are some strategies that you've developed over time that have helped you stay focused in your business as a leader, as a pillar of the community? Let's be honest, like, you're
Yeah.
awesome. So
Wow.
like,
Wow.
what are some strategies that you can like gift the audience, you know?
Yeah, so mindset is a big thing for
Wow,
me,
yeah.
right? And so that's what I lead with. And as a matter of fact, I remember when I started out in entrepreneurship full time, I kind of dibbled and dabbled part time, while I had a day job, and I was like, oh, I don't know if this is really going to work for me. But then I was kind of pushed into entrepreneurship full
Yeah.
time, and I realized that if I was going to be successful, that I really had to make sure that I was operating in business from the right mindset. Like, I had to
Mhm.
understand that it was a faith walk, that it's okay to grow, it's okay to learn, it's okay to say, you know what, I don't know what I'm doing. And so, and just really being able to identify my strengths and my weaknesses, right? So so I would encourage those who might hear this and watch this to, it's okay to learn and figure out what your strengths and your weaknesses are. One of the things that I've learned early on in business is to amplify your gifts, right? And to delegate your weaknesses. So always look for somebody else who can come in and who can either teach you and strengthen you in your areas of weaknesses or need. And then if not, invest in someone who is gifted in their area and be willing to, invest into them so that they can make sure that you are, able to do what you're strong in. So if you just invest the time and the attention and put your money into other people who are gifted in certain areas, it frees you up to be able to do the things that you do well, and you will find fulfillment in that because you're doing what you're good at, and you're winning, and it feels good. So that's one of the main things that I teach is, to identify your strengths and your weaknesses. The other part of that is also forgiveness. I think a lot of us, we have
Wow.
a lot of limited beliefs, right? And patterns of thinking that we come into just life and business with. And that's why I talk about life and business, because they are really aligned. So if you're a wreck over in your personal life, it's definitely going to show up in your business. And so just learning how to just take some time to figure out what is it that's hindering me, what's holding me back, what are my barriers, what are my beliefs, and then being okay with operating from that belief system and that value system. And so that's something that I do with my clients all the time. I help them identify their own value and belief system, and I help them identify how they are operating in those belief systems and how they're not. And then we got to figure out, how can we get you back to that place where you are being true to yourself and operating from your value and belief systems. So that's pretty much. And then also, like I said, that forgiveness piece is key, because when you make mistakes along the way, a lot of times it's hard to pick yourself back up and try again. So you want to quit a lot of times. And so I found myself just kind of like, okay, wait a minute, like, pick yourself back up. It's okay. You made that mistake. Forgive yourself and keep going. What can you learn from that experience? And how can you utilize that to help somebody else along the way? Because I identified that a lot of my mindset struggles is why I teach mindset, because I struggled with my mindset. And once I learned how to just really learn how to work on my mindset, and I started to add value to myself, then I began to teach it to other people. And so that has been really the strategies that I teach, and that I also implement for myself,
Yeah.
because I do believe that you can teach your weaknesses, teach your areas of weakness, like teach those areas where you need to really get to need improvement in, and then you can begin to apply it and then help other people apply it as well.
That's so strong. And I mean, you need, whoever's listening to this, you got to go back, rewind, stop, take a moment, because those questions, like building your beliefs, building your faith, building your strengths, building your weaknesses, identifying those things, you need to do it with someone that has gone through it. Doing it alone is so tough and it's very challenging, and you will not be honest with yourself. Let's
Yeah,
be honest,
yeah,
So I'm so grateful that you've done the work to actually get yourself to a position where any little thing that happens, you can pick yourself back up. Pick
hmm,
yourself back up. Because even when you were like, pick yourself back up, I'm like, yes. I felt the need too. So thank you for that.
yeah.
What has been one of the toughest lessons that you realized, wow, I've come such a long way, that you're super, super proud of?
uh, Definitely, again, goes back to mindset, but it came with the money mindset, right?
Oh,
So it
wow.
was like I struggled with feeling like I was good enough to make the kind of income that I'm now making.
Mm.
Like for a long time, I was like, oh, nobody's gonna buy from me. No one's this is too much. This is too much. This is too much money. Nobody can afford this. And I would operate from that belief system for a long time. Then I met Ivy Leeds. and and you guys started teaching us how oftentimes we project our own objections and our own reservations and own thinking onto other people, and that hinders them from buying from us. And so I was like, that makes so much sense. So I started to ask myself, okay, like when I started to set prices and and started to rethink my packaging, I started to ask myself ahead of time, like, okay, so why am I uncomfortable with this number right now?
Yeah.
And what's going on inside of me that's making me uncomfortable? And just working through that, it just really just helped me to shift my mindset. And so now when I get on my sales calls or my clarity calls, I have no reservations about saying, look, this is what it is. This is my pricing, and making sure that I shared the value of what I offer.
Yes.
I think that was really big for me. I didn't understand my own value, so I wasn't able to communicate it to others on the sales call. And so once I shifted my mindset about that, and just making sure that I understood my own value and the value that I bring, that was pivotal for me. And so now I'm on it.
Visa,
Yeah.
MasterCard, American Express. I take PayPal too.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
love that, Candace, because like I'm always like, why that I think you're missing a zero. I think you're missing two, actually.
Yeah.
So I always wonder like how in the world someone can, diminish their value so low, and not be willing to actually allow themselves to receive. So
Mhm.
this is a big question here. What advice would you give to a new entrepreneur that's kind of blocking themselves from actually receiving?
Oh, wow. I remember the coaching that we received, and just having those discussions about receiving. And I was someone who struggled with receiving because, especially religiously, right? I just remember growing up, and religion played a big part in how I saw myself when it came to serving others. And I was always taught that you were supposed to just give of yourself so freely. And a lot of times, and it was wrong to expect anything in return.
Right.
But again, that I had to have a mindset shift that it is okay to expect and to receive in return, because it's just the law of reciprocation. Like, if you're giving, it's supposed to come back to you, right? And so that is something that I really want to encourage entrepreneurs to think about. You invest so much of your time and energy. And a lot of times, Isabel, we were already doing a lot of this for free. Like I was coaching for free long before I went into business, because people would come to me and ask me for advice and how do you do this and how did you do that? And I would just give that information so freely. And it would be information I invested in. I was the one who took and paid made the investment or took the time to learn it. And I just thought, because we were taught religiously that we were supposed to do all these different things, that that it was not okay to receive in return. So again, it's a mindset shift. It's okay to receive, because that's just how it's supposed to go. You're supposed to give, but they also expect in return. And so, and spiritually, that's my belief that, and I've seen it time and time again, just opening myself up and serving others, and it will come back to you. But it's okay for you to put a price on it too, because that's so a lot of times that's how it comes back.
Indeed. And then
Yeah.
it's like fill up your cup first, you
Yes.
know?
Yeah.
Going into that, I want to explore because you're like, if you haven't gone to Instagram, make sure to follow Candace on Instagram because you're always there consistently and on Facebook.
Yeah.
Um, what strength, or how do I word this question? Because it takes a lot of courage to show up the way that you do. Okay. And the stuff that you speak on is very deep. So, where do you get the strength and the courage to show up consistently and never allowing a day of feeling kind of down to stop you from your bigger vision and purpose? I know it's going to be mindset, I know it's going to be faith, I know.
Yeah.
But what is that one maybe mantra or maybe like morning routine, or what do
Mm-hmm.
you do, Candace? How did you become so freaking cool?
Again, like these were things that I learned just in working with you guys. And I don't think you all realize just how much um value that I received, because I don't think I've ever communicated this. So I'm glad I have this opportunity.
Thank you, Candace.
But there were a lot of mornings I think I was overthinking. Right. I think a lot of entrepreneurs, including myself, we come into that space and we were overthinking it. Right. We were just, and we already had the tools, we already had the ability to get things done. But we were just overthinking it. And there was this one particular session that you all had where we talked about just getting up and making sure that you take care of you first, right? So like I would get up, and I would make sure that I took a walk in the morning, just to kind of clear my mind, start my day. Um, I took a walk because I realized that walking helped me to relieve stress. So if I did it the first thing in the morning, I was able to clear my mind. I was able to just,
Yes.
just take care of myself, get energized. And then the other part was do the hard thing first. Like do
Yeah.
the thing that you don't like to do, whether it's sales, prospecting, making those, contacts. Do the hard thing first. So those things that I really didn't like to do, I didn't wait until the end of the day to do it. I went ahead and did it first thing in the morning so I could say, oh, I got that done. That's out of the way. And then I also I started to think differently about just making the connections. Like I stopped looking at it like it was a sales process and prospecting, and just making a genuine connection, just saying hello and adding value, and it stop overthinking it to the perspective of making it where it's so hard and so difficult, to where it's just regular everyday networking. It's like meeting somebody along the way at the grocery store. Like you're just taking the time to make an introduction and say hello and get to know people. And so just learning how to do those things and do it consistently. And even in those moments when, I'm the caregiver of my dad. So there were days when I wasn't able to get up and do my routine, like I normally do it. But I did learn how to make sure that I went back, to do it later on. So just getting in the habit of putting myself and my business first, reminding myself of what it was like when I would get up every morning to clock into somebody else's job, or and help them with their bottom line. And I was like, you got to do this for yourself. You can't put so much energy into everybody else and not do the same for yourself. So it was like just getting up the same energy, the same routines, the same investments that I made into making somebody else rich. I was like, okay, it's time for me to invest all of that into myself. And so that was pivotal for me, just getting up, starting my day, getting on the grind. And then the end of the day, I was done, and I had people just contacting me back, or, how can I work with you? And it just started to get a consistent flow.
Yeah, and it ties back to what you said, the forgiveness, you
Mm-hmm.
know? I
Yeah.
think I mean, building up that muscle, it's
Yep.
definitely a strong suit. So forget, this is like the wake up call. If you've ever been wanting to, like, take that next step within yourself and within your business and align those things together, don't do it alone.
Mhm.
That's why we personally love to work with coaches like yourself. Like, we can't, I'm sorry, but I can't help you sell a shoe. I'm not passionate about that. I'm passionate about what you just shared, Candace.
Yeah.
That pumps me up a lot, because through your voice, it's someone else's voice that's actually being heard too. So
Yeah. Yeah.
thank you. How does it feel to be location independent, like completely location independent? We're on Zoom right now. You can be working
I
from anywhere in the world.
I know, and that's been another just just blessing and benefit of being in business
Mhm.
full time. Like I said, my I'm the caretaker, one of the caregivers and caretakers of my father.
Yeah.
And he's had a lot of health issues and it's going up and down. And I just remember just saying, just reassuring him that it's okay. I'm not going to miss any work because I could just pack up my computer and I can bring it with me to the hospital room or to the doctor's appointment or to sit with him while we're waiting. So I've had to do that a lot of times. And I didn't miss anything. I didn't have to call off and say, hey, I need this time. It's made life very flexible, and given me the freedom to really support my father in a way that I wouldn't have been able to had I been, working a day job. So that doesn't mean that it hasn't been, challenging at times. Building a business is very difficult, but building it, and making sure that there's a firm foundation, and then following through with these systems every day. It's really just been a blessing. So, I enjoy it. I enjoy being able to take my job anywhere. I'm looking forward to going on a vacation. I'll probably end up taking my computer and my business with me, but I'm able to do that. And I love watching you guys do it too. So you guys are inspirational. I was like, I want to be like that one day. I want to be able to go anywhere and do my business, and wake up, all over the world. So that's something to aspire to.
Yes, it's so amazing. And this is why we do what we do. You know,
Yeah.
we love our families. We feel like that's the one of the core things that drove us to be where we are now. And the people that we work with, like yourself, Candace, like the fact that you're so selfless in your time, it really, it really holds true to how you show up online, you know,
Yeah.
because not a lot of people actually have the same wavelengths online and in offline. And if we get to meet each other, which I hope we get to meet each other soon in the
Yeah.
physical, okay.
Definitely.
Um, I'm confident that you're one of those people that it's like seamless, you know? So
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. And I have one last question for you. This is going to be my most important question that I ask you.
Okay.
Okay. Candace, what does freedom mean to you?
Oh wow. Like just to hear that word, I'm just kind of like, oh wow. It means peace for me.
Yes.
It's a place of peace, fulfillment, like just being able to get up every morning. I remember when I absolutely hated getting up and going to work in the morning. Like it
Mm,
was just such a struggle for me to do it, and now I don't even think twice about it. It's just like I'm gonna get up, because I love what I do. I love, just hearing the testimonies and getting the inboxes like, Coach, this actually worked. Thank you so much. So just hearing, and seeing the results and the outcomes that my clients are experiencing and the level of freedom that they are now experiencing, it's just so rewarding to me. And so that's what freedom is really all about, just being able to just do what you love, not really having to second guess it or think twice about it. But also know that you are valued, you're valuable, and that your worth. Just understanding that. So that's what freedom is. It's just, no nonsense. I'm just like my authentic self. I'm able to be me and have fun. Like I'm just not, and I love it. Like I just love to just show my personality and just be who I am. And that's what freedom is for me.
Awesome. I wanted to highlight a little something that you gave to someone else, Miss Fanny.
Yes. And she's what, 69?
Yeah. So
She's
like,
69 years old.
can you just please share the evolution that Miss Fanny just went through? Because this is huge, y'all.
Yeah, it's amazing. So Miss Fanny, she's actually my mom's classmate, right? And so
Wow.
and she's always had this love for writing. She never really thought that she would ever write a book. Nobody's ever talked about that to her or told her that that was possible. And she just decided that she wanted to write a book. And so another client of mine who I just helped write a book shared a testimonial in a newspaper article locally that she worked
Wow.
with me going through my program. And I've had actually 2 to 3 people contact me from that article, say, hey, I want to write a book. And she
That's
was
so
one of
awesome.
those people. And so she contacted me. She said she'd written all this stuff. She had stuff that she'd written for quite some time, and she wanted to figure out how to write a book. And so I remember going over to speak with her and share with her. And she talked about how as a little girl, she just didn't have a voice. She was just very
Hmm.
shy, and writing was just her way of expressing herself. She knew that she had a gift, and she had this spiritual, this relationship with God in a way that she wanted to express, but she never really knew how to do it. And so we worked together. I gave her my 5-step process, kind of helped her through it. And so she recently released her book, and she was just so proud. And she was just, she's cried throughout the entire process, but she was just so proud. And so one of the things that I told her on Sunday after her book release was that, she is an inspiration to so many other people, because she's 69 years old, and she's a testament to, how when God makes a promise, it will happen. And she kept the faith. She believed that it would one day happen for her, and it happened. And I was just so thankful to be able to help her fulfill, her purpose and her desire. So now she's ready to work on her next book. So I was like, come on, like really? So she's like, yeah, I'm ready. I was like, can we kind of bask in the can we enjoy the moment here? Like we
She's like,
just got
next.
done. So
That
yeah,
is so
let's just
awesome.
enjoy this. And so it's just it's amazing to me how, at 69, she was able to get it done, and really in a short amount of time. I think we got it done in 4 months, which typically it
Wow.
takes people longer than that, but she's amazing. So yeah.
Y'all, if you're ready to write your book, if you're ready to take in this next chapter in your life, there's a 5-step process that Candace can
There's
help
a
you out with.
5 steps.
5 steps. And I'm excited for people to take action and actually do something new that can actually break them from their routine, And I
Mhm.
think like just gifting yourself the opportunity to do this, like writing a book, hiring a coach, like it's the best investment that you can do for yourself.
Yeah.
Hands down. I
Yeah.
believe it. And I mean, thank you, Candace, for your presence. Thank you for your time. I know you're super busy and your time is so valuable. So I really appreciate you. And I can't wait to see all the amazing success stories that are heading to the world because of you.
Thank you so much. And thank you guys. You guys have been amazing. And I appreciate you all for just allowing me to be me, not trying to force me to be anything other than myself, but just giving me a safe place to be who I am, and to always and always encouraging and inspiring, but also just teaching, just simple strategies. Like, I was just like, really? That's all? Like, I have really been overthinking this thing. But your consistency and showing up and believing in me has just been it's been phenomenal. So I appreciate you guys so much.
Thank you. This interview was supposed to be about you. I'm over here like in my feelings. I'm like, oh. I mean, thank you so much. That really means a lot, and it's something that I don't take lightly, and neither does Vanessa. So appreciate you, Candace.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, everyone, check out the links below. You are in for a treat. Thank you, Candace. I'll see you soon.